Sorry about that, Joe. Oh, no worries.
You have a good meeting?
Fireworks were awesome.
Looks like we're all here.
Were they?
Yeah, I sat,
You all ready, Jeff?
Good, it's all working. Thank you, guys.
It is 4 o'clock. Let's order the meeting for Redevelopment Commission, and we'll start off by the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, let's start off with the potential approval of the minutes from the last commission meeting. Assume you guys have had a chance to look that over. Okay, Bill's made a motion to approve the minutes as presented. I'll second. And Jack has seconded that. All in favor of approving the minutes as presented from June 15th, signify by saying aye. 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 And we'll go right into new business. Take over.
Flight 2297 is now taking off on runway A11.
Yeah, so I gave you guys the budgets at the last meeting. I've not changed the budgets since the last time I gave them to you. So I don't have any updates in terms of what's changed. I can go through each one, or I can just answer any questions you have on any specific budget. I don't know what your preference is. But these would be the budgets that I would propose we approve or adopt today, and then submit to the council for their approval.
Does anybody have any questions about?
Yeah, I can do however you want. We can just go through them real quick and then if there's any questions. As you know, the technology part fund is cap of $5 million, so we can collect up to $5 million. I believe this year we are basically running up against that $5 million. It may be a little bit of next year's collection, but for the most part, we will be capped out. Have collected our $5 million in the next year and a half. So the funds that we have remaining in that budget would be what's left in this year's budget, and then proposed for next year's. There's a little bit of change, so we'll probably have a budget in 2027. The intent, obviously, is to hopefully be classified so that we can collect up to another, I think it's $150,000 a year. However, we have to regenerate those funds. So we'll have a new baseline set at the end of our $5 million cap. And then we would have to create more jobs over that to collect additional funds, which we will work to do. But, so the only thing really in this year's or proposed next year's budget is just money for capital outlays that we can use on an innovation center, incubator, or additional infrastructure needs within the tech park. So that budget is $700,000 for next year. Yeah.
Did the extension of came out into that new area, did that create any new expenses for us, development expenses, or was?
It might. So we built the lift station, but because the flow was so minute going into the lift station, we basically pinched the capacity down so that it wouldn't sit stagnant in there and create fumes and all that fun stuff. So depending on their flows, we may have to rip out those restrictions and put a higher pump in.
How about our utility partners, NIPSCO? We have to extend that line
projects we had to deal with, so.
Good, all right. Thank you. We'll leave that one alone.
Yeah, I'm trying to be diplomatic here. Redevelopment general, this is the only tax base budget that we have. All the other ones are TIF funds, so they're not tax rate supported. Redevelopment general is a tax rate across the entire city, and therefore we operate that fund. And can use those funds anywhere in the city for redevelopment projects. It's also where the operation of my department and the redevelopment commission and redevelopment authority come out of. So there is obviously wages, the wages went up a little bit, not significant in terms of its percentage of wages. Office supplies stayed the same, engineering, 50,000 for engineering stays the same, travel stays the same, printing, same, bonds, that's every year required to hold bonds for each redevelopment commission member, so that fund has stayed the same. Other services, 10,000 is not changed. I did add another 100,000 into infrastructure projects. Primarily, that's just gonna be dependent on how much money we put in there is depending on what the rate generates versus what our balance is. Trying to keep a 1.5 to 2 year balance so that every year, we're not falling behind in terms of funding that, our department and your operation. So total next year is about $100,000 higher. All that is in infrastructure projects, and that is if it gets expended. There are a number of projects that we have on the books that we could use those funds for next year. Total budget for next year would be $393,980. Marketplace TIF, peer pass-through. So this was the TIF bond for Marketplace. That resulted in Beals, Ollie's, Gabe's, and the soon-to-be under construction Hobby Lobby. So we're only taking in the taxes from that and then paying the bond. So every year, it'll appear that what you see in there is purely the bond payment. In theory, hopefully we generate that much money and then that pays the bond, so next year's bond payments equal $151,748. Like I said, it's just a pass-through.
Any idea when that Hobby Lobby will be up and running?
First quarter 2027 is what they're telling me. So, first quarter is typically January to March of 2027, so somewhere in there is hopefully what they're expecting to be open. Northern residential TIF, revenue continues to grow in this one. And I did get the first distribution this year, and I think we're a little bit higher than what I had originally estimated. I did not change my estimate, but, because we'll see sometimes you get people that'll pay their full taxes, so it's not necessarily a true number, but, as far as what it looks like, I'm not overly concerned with the revenue for 2027. Now, as the tax changes come in, we'll have to keep an eye on what that impact is. So for 2027, 45,000 for engineering, 700,000 in capital outlays, and we have our bond payment for Valagasta, 88,000. Total budget for 2027 of 833,000. Those capital outlays can be used on the two residential projects we're working on. One being southeast of Valagasta and the other one being west of Valagasta. Southern residential, same. Revenue's grown a little bit, not as fast as obviously the northern residential, but it is growing. So we're definitely on par with and a little higher than the expected revenue based on our first distribution this year. Got 100,000 in engineering and 500,000 in capital outlays. Two projects we're working on. We have a southern residential plan that we'll be putting together that you approved. So we're gonna be starting work on that to try to generate a cohesive they used it to develop the new phase of Bella Augusta, but, it was for infrastructure, sewer and water, because of the cost increases associated with those. Northern residential, or northern TIF, this is obviously the big one. Revenue continues to grow in there, but obviously we're coming to a cliff in 2030, where our revenue will drop pretty drastically. The bulk of this budget is on the number of bond issues and sewer pledge. That we have some of my salaries and Whitney's and the city engineers come out of this budget as well. But the bulk of this budget is the sewage pledge, the 3 Winona PBD bonds, Thompson Thrift bond, the airport industrial park bond, and the Buffalo Street bond. For next year, we have $600,000 in professional services, $500,000 in property acquisition, and $4 million in infrastructure projects. Obviously, we have a lot of infrastructure projects or projects in general in that district, and depending on what comes to the surface in 2027 is what we'll use them for. We are still working on the engineering for the roundabout at Husky Trail and 200. We are still in conversations with Parkview about extending Mariners Drive. We have the VA project potential, and then obviously some of this year's money may go towards the acquisition of the property north of the Coles. So those are all the kind of projects that we have in the books. And depending on what comes to the surface first, between this year and next year, those are the targets that we're looking at. Total budget, pretty much same as this year, but around 6.4 million.
So do all those bonds drop off in 2030?
All of them except for the airport and the Buffalo Street bond.
Yes.
So yes, the sewage pledge, the 3 Winona PVDs, and the Thompson Thrift will all be gone in 2030. Some of them drop in 2020, I think one of them drops in 2029, but yeah, by the end of 2030, all those bonds will be gone.
Portion of that TIF district continues, just a much smaller portion
Yes.
beyond 2030. Does that support both of those bonds?
Yes, so the Buffalo Street bond, was supported by what used to be the central TIF.
Yep.
So that revenue's been folded into, so that revenue will still be there to support that bond. And, the airport bond, will be supported by what's the remainder of that district. Obviously, a lot less, so we'd be looking at somewhere, to say, 570,000 of bond issues we'd have to cover. I haven't broken out what the revenue, between what's gonna be fading out, what's gonna be added is. But keep in mind, most of the tech part goes beyond 2030. So that is where a lot of the new revenue has come in. I'm guessing we probably had around $1 million worth of growth in there, and then we're adding, AutoCam, which we reset, which will have its own, new lifespan, so there should be plenty of revenue to cover those 2 bond issues. Now, to do capital projects, it'll be more challenging because we'll be losing, whatever, 3 million some in revenue.
So and I'm just asking this for my edification, the bonds that were created for projects that extend the TIF, those were all done purposely, as I understand.
Yes.
But beyond 2030, if there's continued development out there, you can't jump back into this TIF district, you have to either reset.
Yes.
Explain that to me.
Yes, so you're correct. So on those areas, so the TIF district is still the TIF district. However, the properties that drop out, the revenue that drops out does no longer get collected. And those areas that have different lifespans will go on. It's not to say that we couldn't come in on another project and add that back into the northern TIF, but we would have to do that on an individual basis, or we could do it on a grand scale basis, but I don't know, the intent of TIFs or to develop areas that are undeveloped. So those areas that are already developed, I don't know that we're gonna jump back in. Now, like the property we're looking at north of Coles, we are going to re-up that because it's not developed. But those areas, like the Coles development that's already built, there's no reason for us to re-TIF that. That makes sense?
Yeah, so you're just adding new basis,
Yes.
and the original basis drops off in 2030. And then those that were acquired
Yes.
through that period extend.
We'll keep going.
Is it the life of the bond, or is there a certain?
It's a life of whatever it was brought in under. Some of them may correspond to bonds,
Right.
some of them may not. So like most of the tech park may go to like, 40, I think it is, somewhere in that range. So there may be another, 10 years on most of the tech park area. The auto cam will be re-upped to 20 years, so, what we already did for the auto cam. Re-up that. So yeah, some of them will continue on for another 10 years. All of the original core, that was Walmart, Lowe's, Kohl's, all that will drop off.
So the redevelopment area in the TIF district stays the same. It's just that, yeah, okay, so the footprint stays the same, and new development within that can be TIFed at the max of 20 years.
Yes,
Okay.
if we choose to. I'm not saying,
Sure.
it'll depend on whether or not
What
it's a
type of
value.
project it is, yeah. Okay. Thanks.
One in urban, it's grown a little bit, still not a lot of funds in here, obviously, with, 25 Durban, the new Union Station loss, what we're doing on Warsaw Chemical Site, it will grow. Excuse me, as we go on, but for now, we're just a lot of projects in the works. The budget pretty much stayed the same, I think I added 10,000, so I added some additional money in engineering and then, capital outlays for 2027, so a total budget of 75,000.
Under the general says insurance, then 18,000. Is that helpful?
Yes.
I just making sure.
Yeah. Yeah, our salary wages come out of a couple different spots. They come out of edit, redevelopment, general, northern tip, and some of mine comes out of sewage.
It's all part of economic development.
All part of it, but because
Heart.
I'm always doing all of those.
The heart and blood of the community is sewage treatment. All right, yeah. Gotta be able to treat wastewater.
And I play a large role in development that creates the sewage that.
Exactly.
For example, the meeting I had just before this was talking about slate sewage, so.
Yes. Yeah.
It's all part of the gig. So, any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them on those. Once again, we would sign these budgets and then send them to the council. So, sure, if you approve these budgets, George will sign them, and then we will send them to the council. Make a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
I'll send the questions.
The budgets are reciting. All right, Bill's made a motion to approve the budgets as presented,
Second.
and Joe has seconded that. All in favor of approving the budgets as presented, signify by saying aye. All right, it's unanimous. All right.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, thank you. About some claims.
We have a few, so we have $559 for Barnes and Thornburg, that's our legal, for work on the MOU for Buffalo Street. Abbott Marsh Engineering, $15,565, that is for the millwork streetscape, being engineered around the millworks project. American Structure Point, $53,638.31, this is for Anchorage Road Quill, 4581, there's office supplies, and then 4 Aces, $750 for mowing along Buffalo Street, for the property we own on Buffalo Street.
Any questions about the claims?
Motion approved.
There's been a motion to approve the claims as presented. Jack, seconded that. All in favor of approving the claims, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, that passes. How about other business?
I do not have any at this time.
Can I ask, anything about retail strategies? Did they do any
They did,
thing for us?
we're talking, so part of the retail strategy deal, well, part of the work that they're doing is associated with me acquiring the rest of the property north of Coles. So we are talking, they have a developer, and I'm talking to a developer about the potential to put a project together to redevelop that into commercial. So we have our work cut out for us there, obviously, but step one and the two different possible people is control of the property. So if the city takes control of the property, they want to come and try to put a project together. So right now, I'm working on trying to get control of the property. We had a purchase agreement that I sent to them, they sent back some changes, I sent that to our legal, he's working on it, we'll send those changes back, so once we can agree on a purchase agreement, then that will come before you to purchase that property.
Public Works building looks great.
Yes.
You haven't been out there, you gotta go by, just sheer amount of concrete.
Yeah, a lot of concrete.
What's that?
She has a few questions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Am I up?
Yep, you can come up.
I was just gonna ask, if anybody had any questions?
That mic's set where,
Over there.
yeah, and it's set exactly where it needs to
Although I
be.
probably have a loud enough voice, you could hear me. Right, Joey? Okay. I'm nervous, I'm sorry.
You might identify,
What's that?
you might identify yourself, because you sort of,
Okay,
the,
I am Jane Sorowi, and that's spelled S as in Sam, E-R-O, V as in Victor, Y. The first thing that I'd like to talk about is the volume of these meetings. I'll be doing stuff around the house, and I know it's kind of boring, but I listen to your meetings, and I cannot hear any of it. I have my Bluetooth going as loud as it can go, and I'm going, okay, I still can't hear it. So I put my headphones on. I still can't hear it. And I've tried about every meeting, and I can't hear it. Especially when you had the library meeting, I couldn't hear it. I had to come down here to listen to it. So I was here till late listening to it and I really didn't want to get out. So, but it was important to me.
Was it better when we were at the city hall?
I have no idea. I just really started listening to them.
I'll address that when she's done. I'll address that one. Good question.
Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah, I can't hear it on YouTube. And then, I'm watching you guys when you're talking. It's important that, yeah, it sounds like school when you're mumbling and the teacher asks you to speak up. If you wouldn't mind speaking right into the mics, that would be awesome.
part of the problem is there are only 3 mics.
I know, but
But
you can still,
I see what you're saying.
you can still get friendly.
Yeah.
Okay, but, that would be awesome, because then, you guys are saying some important things, and I wanna hear them. If it's almost like you don't want us to hear them because it would cause problems. But, okay, so,
Okay.
I know these things are probably not what you do, but I know there's people here that can get it done. Okay, I live north of town, off of 175 East by, Steve Foster. And I go on the intersection of Du Bois Parker and Highway 30 quite often. There is not enough room for 3 cars when you're going, when you're trying to turn there. We're going towards Menards,
Yeah,
right?
I would agree.
Yeah, and I don't know why you guys let them keep it that way and not widen it, because, I know, you didn't.
I can answer that.
All right, so we'll let her,
I
yeah,
know
good,
you-
all right, good.
Speaking of the mic.
And you're, yeah, speaking of the mic, I'm so sorry.
Don't touch it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
well, we certainly, as Jeremy said, we all agree, we understand there's significant amount of traffic at that
And it's gonna
intersection.
get worse
That is the most,
with the coffee shop.
that's the most dangerous intersection on US 30 as far as crash statistics.
Oh, I was
frequency.
2 seconds away from
Yeah.
being in a huge crash.
We've started, within 15 years, trying to get the state of Indiana to approve a freeway concept for US 30. We've made significant progress, but the issue is, any issue is the money. But I can assure you that that will be the primary interchange, that and a few others up on Spring Hill Road. Those are the 2 primary interchanges we're looking at because of that frequency of crash, because of the high volume of cross traffic. So everybody in this room and more are doing everything they can to make that happen.
Well, and,
I would ask that perhaps you send the governor a note.
oh, really?
And let him know how you feel.
I can do that. I can write. Okay. And actually, and this just tells you how long I've been here. When they first put in that traffic light there, and I was able to come home. I worked at Cimarron Plant 1. I was able to come home for lunch every day, but then they started putting in more and more traffic lights, and I couldn't do it. Well, okay, they put in the traffic light there at, I don't know, Parker Street Extended, I guess you call it. And there was an accident. A truck had hit the rear end of a car. There was a little kid in that car. They couldn't get him out. And this was before any first responders were there. And it was sad. It's just something that you never forget. So I will definitely put that in my letter.
Jane, thank you for your comments on that, because many, many people in this community share those same sentiments.
Yeah.
And I know the city, the county, in fact, there's a 7-county coalition
Yes.
that's advocating this around the clock, I would say, with the state, with the governor's office, with the Indiana Department of Transportation. And it is a continual issue to try and get a little love in
Yeah.
Kosciuszko County on
Well-
US 30, because, the funding, the NDOT funding seems to concentrate around capital counties, around donor counties. And, we made progress. We're happy with where we've been, but we're not, the job is not done.
Yeah.
And it is a funding issue, and I'll just have to leave it at that, because that's where we're
If I were
stuck.
in a different lane turning left on 30, I'd have gotten hit. And, because somebody had ran the stoplight. And they were going, they hadn't even slowed down.
Yeah. Well, the rear end crash that you just referenced is an unfortunate common occurrence at those, where you have to slow down for some type of traffic control, but they don't stop down, or can't get stopped quick enough.
Well, and then you turn left on, from 250 on 230, you've got that, people coming from, from like Pearson Road intersection. If they don't have their turn signal on, you don't know if they're turning left or going straight, because there's that little hump right there. And I'm turning left quite a bit to, go to Fort Wayne, see my grandkids.
Is that the one out by,
250 East.
Yes, that's the last light on your way
by,
out.
Right,
Harbor Freight?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and I've actually almost gotten hit there, so now I'm just a little bit more cautious. And I just wait till I see traffic, or turn signals, and then I turn. If I don't see a turn signal, I don't turn.
You know, if I may, I'd like to just piggyback off of what Joe suggested you do, right, the governor?
Right.
And I would implore anybody out there listening to these meetings, let your voice be heard too. The more people that speak up about US 30 in this community, just makes our chances of getting a better option for the future.
Mhm. And I wanted to go to your meetings that you had at the high school for traffic, but at that time I was working, and now I'm retired, so I can rattle your cage a little bit more, so, okay, when the meetings are being held at your new location, is there gonna be enough parking? Well, what happens if the meeting is over 2 hours long? And then, will there be,
All of our meetings are after hours, and most of them are after hours, so there won't be any parking.
so when does the parking,
I mean, 4.
5 o'clock it ends, doesn't it?
Yeah, but really it's free with the enforcement part of it. Yeah, 5 o'clock, but remember it's a 2-hour free parking, so the only issue would be Board of Works and Traffic Commission. The rest are after hours.
The rest are after hours.
So if you park there after 3 o'clock, you don't have to worry about it.
Right, yeah, because you would,
Start a session, you don't have to worry about it.
at all.
You start a session, you don't have to, this is true.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
right.
park there for,
if you
Right.
start a session, if you actually have the app and you
Right.
scan
you
it?
start a session, you'll get 2 free hours, and if you go to a third hour,
You can
you
pay.
pay $3 or whatever. So you don't get tickets, like, there are no more tickets. It used to be, you parked for 2 hours, and if you didn't move, you got a ticket. There are no more tickets, all you have to do is start a session.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And this is our, this is our temporary
Yeah,
location.
right.
We've always met at City Hall.
In most
And
of,
it's gone now.
yeah, most of our,
Yeah, we'll go back in September maybe.
end of September is where we're shooting for now.
Will it hold 200 people? If you have,
I don't know what
It's
the
close.
capacity is, like 100 and something.
It's like, we've never had, Joe, I can't remember, maybe 1 or 2 times where it's been a capacity.
for the library.
Rarely does it happen.
Has been.
But the one thing I'd comment, the 2-day meetings that we're speaking of where parking could be an issue, I've never known a Board of Works meeting or a traffic commission to go 2 hours.
Correct,
So I don't think parking is going to be an issue.
I agree.
But you've got people that are afraid to park uptown,
So,
and you just have to let them know that they can scan the sign and they have, the most that they would pay would be $3.
And that's if they went 3 hours.
Right.
If they were there for an hour and a half, they don't pay anything. All they have to do is start a session.
Right, exactly.
Okay. I will do that next time, because I was at the farmer's market Saturday,
There
and I'm
is no,
thinking, okay, if I'm here more than 2 hours, I'm in
And
trouble.
on Saturday, you don't have to worry
Oh,
about it.
Saturday's free?
yep,
Saturdays, Sundays, there's no
right.
enforcement, so.
Okay. Okay.
And we have been and will continue to try to get that word out.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it for 6
Dave, have we
months.
talked about this? Have we, Dave? Good.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for 6 months.
Yeah. Have you reported it? You've reported it too, have you? Yeah.
Okay, don't know how many of you go out on 175 East, like, I think it's Kosciuszko County Drive at the intersection there, where 175 goes south and tees into Kosciuszko County Drive.
Yeah, trying to
Okay.
picture it, but yeah.
Last Wednesday, they put up a huge, rusty, old looking, 120-foot metal, power pole, NIPSCO did. It is gaudy as anything.
Beautiful, is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, it's, I mean, they didn't even put in a galvanized pipe in a residential area. And I have a picture of it. If you, do you have it up? Cause I did put it on Facebook. It's on Nosy Neighbors.
I'm looking at
So you're 175 and cross.
And there's one, yeah,
to find out if it's in the city limits or not, is that?
I'm not, no, it's not in the city limits,
Oh,
but,
okay.
there's one in, across the street from Bob Evans, that would be in city limits, right? Which, you know, that's not a residential area, but I just, yeah, I just wanted, who would I mean, I gotta call into NIPSCO right now to ask them what their next step is. I'm just hoping that they're not going to put one in front of my house. Cause I have a little white flag that says clear, and I'm hoping that doesn't mean that it's clear to put a hole there.
Definitely talk to NIPSCO.
Yeah.
We don't have any control over
No, that's crazy that they can put an ugly pole like that anywhere they want.
They are a public utility, placing poles in a public right of way, so
Right.
completely
Yeah, the
outside of our
guy-
control.
I drove past there, cause I just wanted, I like taking pictures. And so, I wanted to take a picture of it, and the guy was out in the yard, and he says, that pole has probably dropped my, property valuation by $20,000. That's what he said, I'm just, but he's contacting a lawyer today. Then also, you guys were talking about Hobby Lobby, are they gonna fix that parking lot?
They will be redoing a section of the parking lot.
Cause it's sinking,
That's probably never going to change, but,
well, you know, cause
there'll
that
be
was
certain-
swamped when they
yeah.
started.
There's some storm issues we gotta deal with, as well, but yes, they'll be repaving that area, but is it going
Paving isn't
to,
gonna-
is it going to fix the, slum that is the parking lot? Probably not.
No, you're gonna have all kinds of people parking there. And, I mean, people are all excited about Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, and then there'll be a lot of parking, but yeah, there's some of that parking lot outside of tearing it all out and
Well,
de-mucking. They'd have to de-muck it, you couldn't pile it, so it'd be de-mucking the whole parking lot. Part of the parking lot that's not settling was de-mucked with the original development. But it got to a point where they didn't wanna spend any more money, and so they stopped, and that's what's left.
okay,
But we are not the developer, there's nothing in our standards that say a parking lot has to be level. So, I mean, as long as it meets the drive aisle width, the parking space width, number of parking spaces, they have to maintain it, we don't. The one thing that we do have to make sure is that the stormwater gets away and goes where it needs to go. And there's probably some stormwater work that needs to be done in that area, and, we've had some conversations with the county on, trying to solve that riddle at some point.
and is there a common council meeting tonight at 7?
No.
No.
Maybe I can't figure it out.
Lack of business,
Yeah.
lack of new business.
I could give this.
Well, you got three of the people here.
That's-
You got two council members and the mayor, so.
Yeah, there you go. No, you pretty much have heard everything that I have to say, except maybe the airport road. You're
Yeah, I will with this, with the, I'll get her up, help her understand why we're here
Yeah.
and with the audio.
The intent, and that is a really complicated project, and the short answer to that is, our intent is to create the best project. But a lot of that depends on federal funding and things like that. So the intent would to be not to jog around, would be to go under, to create a tunnel under the railroad, or under the airport, but that's
Yeah.
money, everything costs
That's interesting, okay. If you have good pilots, do they need that long of a runway?
money. It's not about good pilots, there's no safety standards for good pilots. There's only safety standards for how long of a runway you need in certain weather conditions. And so that is what's the driving force. We lose half our runway when the weather is X. Doesn't matter how great your pilot is. The FAA rules say, if I got a 3,000-foot runway and the weather is X, now that runway's 2,000 feet, you can no longer land there. That's what it's about.
Yeah,
It's
that
more
gives you
complicated than just, so like I said, it's a very complicated project. I oversimplified it in that. our
Do you
intent-
guys take care of that intersection there on the airport road and 100?
Yes.
Okay, there's a huge pothole there. I mean, just huge. I mean, and unless, you know, the first time you hit it, you're not gonna hit it again, cause you're gonna go around. And there's also a huge parking lot there, or huge pothole at 250 and, the tool place. And if you're turning right onto 250 from 30,
When you say,
you're gonna lose your car.
when you say 100, what do you mean? 300?
Husky Drive, Husky Trail,
Okay, so that's not airport, so you're 100 and
you
what?
got, well, the airport road tees into,
Well, 300 north tees into 100, is that where you're at?
is it four, I don't know the number, I'm
Is it
sorry.
by the animal clinic? Or no?
No, not that.
Is it the road?
Is it
It's
250?
the road if you're going to Walmart.
The 250. So no,
250 north.
technically at this point in time, I don't believe we have, that's not in our city. It's in the county.
Okay. How about the one on 250 and the, by the tool shop there?
Anything,
Yeah, 250 and 30.
yes. Yeah, so most of 250 as you come out of, off of 15 heading back towards 100 is, because we have all the airports in. Depends on the timing of the annexation, but it cuts off somewhere around the wrecking service there, I think is where the annexation stops.
Yeah, okay. So should I contact the county about that?
If there is a pothole in the intersection of 100 and 250, I will have our street department go look at it, and he will determine whether it's our responsibility or not. If he feels like it is, he'll take care of it. If he doesn't, he'll notify the county.
That'd be wonderful. And then the one on 250 and 30?
Yeah, that is
Same
ours.
thing?
Yeah, well, that is ours.
Okay.
There's a
'Cause,
pothole,
yeah, you might have to take some car parts out of that one.
as long as they're good parts.
Okay, I think I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments? So, that's it. Next meeting, you said, do you think we're gonna have a meeting on the 20th?
This month, no, I will not be here.
Okay.
Let's face some crazy plans. Just be me.
Yes, if there's some claims that need to be paid out, she can call a quick meeting, but there won't be anything on
Okay.
that.
Short quorum for that. Move on. Well, okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
Were you gonna say something?
I'm gonna answer your question in a minute.
Oh.
No, he can.
Yeah.
I'll do it after the meeting.
Oh,